Hello, everyone. Today is Wednesday, January the 31st. I'm Ryan Hill.
I'm John Galantis.
And you're listening to Clearview Today with Dr. Abadan Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. You can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com, or if you have any questions for Dr. Shah or suggestions for new topics, send us a text to 252-582-5028, or you can email us at contact@clearviewtodayshow.com.
That's right, and you guys can help us keep the conversation going by supporting the show. You can share it online with your friends and your family. You can leave us a good 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify, absolutely nothing less. For any reason imaginable, we're going to leave a link in the description so you can do just that. Today's verse of the day is from Colossians 1:22. It says, "In the body of his flesh through death, to present you holy and blameless and above reproach in his sight."
Notice that vehicle, that pathway for us. We are able to be presented holy and blameless and above reproach because of Christ's death. It's not anything that we have brought to the table. It's not anything that we contribute to that. It is Christ's death that enables us to be presented holy and blameless.
Cause and effect is a big thing in Christianity. I'm coming to realize that. Like, you have to understand the why.
Yep.
You have to, not just the how. How does all this doctrine work? You also have to understand why it works. And a lot of times it comes back to just who God is.
Yep.
His holiness, really, I think that's the perfect word, his kingship, his majesty. Because of who he is, he does things that benefit not only us, but all of humanity. And so in the body of his flesh through death, to present you holy and blameless, that's his whole goal. Not his whole goal, but that's the goal for us, is to be presented holy and blameless. Yep. And we can only do it because of his flesh through death, because of the cross.
That's right. That's right. Talking about cause and effect, if you have a cause, it will inevitably lead to an effect.
That's right.
If you forget to pack a certain article of clothing, the effect is that you will not have that article of clothing to wear upon needing to wear that article of clothing.
So there was a witch hoax that kind of circulated through the Clearview staff.
Wait a minute, a witch
text
hoax?
thread. It was a witch hoax sort of thing, like a Salem witch hoax.
Hunt?
It was like, it was like a hunt, but it was also a hoax because it wasn't real. It never existed. It was no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not stinking there. It's not real, man. I wore my wife's pants to the gym. Is that what you want to hear?
That was not real?
It was real,
then
but
who doctored the photos? Who did that? Explain it to me.
So
now explain it to me.
I wore my wife's pants to the gym. I did it.
Not intentionally.
Not
John
intentionally.
didn't intend to wear women's pants at the gym.
I was with David at the gym. We went in the
You said that twice like that was the justification. I was with David.
We were at the gym, and I opened up my gym bag. Right?
Sure.
And so we're close. We're good friends, but we're still like, listen, go to opposite sides of the. We're not gonna get changed right next to each other. So we go to opposite sides. David gets in a stall. I thought that was kind of weird, but it is what it is. So I'm just kidding. He doesn't do that. I open up my stuff and I put my tank top on, whatever. I go to pull the pants on. I'm like, this does not feel right. I get them up over my hips, and I'm talking about it hurts, Ryan. It hurts. They're
Sure.
Ellie's pants. And I go, this rascally wife of mine she's crank yanked me. She has pranked me and put her pants in the, and then I was like, okay, that's obviously not true. She just packed it wrong. Then I confronted her, and she says, I didn't pack your gym bag. You packed your gym bag. And I said, why would I have packed my gym bag? And she said, no, the question is, why would I have packed your gym bag? And then I started thinking back, and I was like, you know what? I packed this gym bag.
You packed the gym bag.
I put Ellie's pants in
Sure.
the gym bag. And so David was like, well, okay, just put your jeans back on. And at that point, I was like, no, I have to do this. So I just did the workout in Ellie's pants.
In Ellie's pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
People looked at me like they would look at a frog man. Like, imagine if a man with a frog head came through that door right now.
yeah.
And just was like, hey, what are you doing? How you would look at him, that's how people looked at me.
That's probably a good thing. That's probably a good thing that happened.
David did not want to work out with me. That's the first
I can
time
understand that.
in a long while that I've seen him legitimately angry.
I can understand that.
He was angry
Yeah.
at me.
Yeah.
He was legitimately angry. He was angry. He was
Yeah.
upset.
Yeah.
Because we were working out together and
Right.
people were seeing us.
Right.
Would you wear your wife's pants to the gym?
No.
Would you just work out in jeans?
Yeah.
Or would you just go home?
No, I just work on jeans.
It don't feel good, especially if you're hitting legs.
Neither is working out in women's pants.
I mean, No, it didn't feel good, but I'm not working out in jeans. I feel like you get more stares doing that. Because I don't see people work out in jeans. Except for
I've seen a bunch of people there in jeans. I've seen people in there like in their work clothes,
What?
like before work. Like they were in a polo and jeans, coming in, getting a couple sets real quick, and then going to work.
Bruh, are you
Yeah.
for real?
Oh yeah.
David, do you ever see people work out in jeans? You do? I don't see really people work out in jeans.
Yeah.
Only guy I see work out in jeans, there's one guy, and he comes in, and it's kind of like you said. He comes in, he does a couple of like tricep stuff, and then he walks right on it.
Yep.
He don't really do hard sets.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's what I did. There's no changing it now.
There it is.
I didn't like,
And it was promptly blasted right in the group chat.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't think the takeaway is, haha, John wore his wife's pants. I think the takeaway is, why did that text start circulating through the staff
well,
and the family?
who started the text?
David. Oh, Ellie did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Ellie did that.
Yeah, because Ellie was like, y'all need to ask John what he's wearing at the gym right now.
Yeah, and then I started getting a bunch of texts in the thread talking about, what does John wear to the gym? Haha, let's see. And then David's like sending pictures, and Ellie's sending pictures because David sent her pictures. And I mean, I just didn't think it needed to be all that it became. But it did.
Yeah.
And there's no changing it now.
And here we are now.
It's just a matter of time until the pictures get out to the church at large.
No.
Then they end up on the Truth Network website. They're
No,
on
we're
the
not
Truth
doing that.
Network's front page.
We're not doing any of that.
They're on clearviewtodayshow.com.
We're not doing any
It's
of that.
just, it just didn't need to be it.
Yeah.
And I'm just a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I bet Stu Epperson would put it on the Truth Network's front page.
I hope he does not. Stu, if you're listening to this, please do not put this on the Truth Network page.
I'll send it to you privately, Stu.
Yikes. We're going to grab Dr. Shah and continue with our show in just a second. But if
Very
you have any
special episode today.
Very special episode today. Very excited. Something brand new that we have not done yet before in the Clearview Today show. Make sure you stay tuned. Write in and let us know if you have ever had a mishap like that, packing clothes that you thought were yours, but turns out, nope,
Yes,
never were.
Somebody else's.
252-582-5028, or you can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com. We'll be back after this.
Are you looking for some new worship music to go along with all these amazing shows here on the Truth Network? Well, today's your lucky day because Dr. Shah and myself and a lot of the rest of the Clearview staff have been hard at work writing for the last few months, and we're very excited to share Clearview's new EP with you, Together Forward. Not only do these songs sound great, but each and every single one of them were born from a place of genuine worship and prayerfully written by our team right here at Clearview Church. It's available right now on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, anywhere digital music is sold. So make sure to pick up your copy today and let us know how these songs are helping you, whether they're helping your worship band in your church or just in the car or around in your everyday life. Email us at info@clearviewbc.org. You can also support the ministry here at Clearview Church by visiting us online. That's clearviewbc.org/give. Thanks for listening. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Clearview Today with Dr. Abadan Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. You can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com, or if you have any questions or suggestions for new topics, send us a text to 252-582-5028.
That's right, and we're here once again in the Clearview Today studio with Dr. Abadan Shah, who is a PhD in New Testament textual criticism, professor at Carolina University, author, full-time pastor, the host of today's show, and I have confirmed in my own private study, has never worn his wife's pants to the gym. Never once. Right?
What?
Wait, you didn't,
No.
right? No, you didn't.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, so that's what we talked about. Actually, I'm glad that your wife Nicole is on the show today because I had a bone to pick with you because you were all in that text thread, stirring stuff up and trying to get it out.
He texted me. John texted me and said, "Hey, what would you do if your wife packed the wrong kind of pants?" I said, "What do you mean?"
Well, I called you.
Yeah, you called me.
I had him on the phone.
I'm like, man, that's terrible. He's like, well, that's all I have now, so I'm wearing them.
I was like, I'm scared, dude. I'm scared. I need you to come get me from the gym. He was like, he was like, where are you right now?
My question is, did you pack it or did Ellie pack it?
So I thought Ellie packed it, but it turns out I packed it.
According to our research,
The
John
test
is
determined that was a lie.
That makes sense.
Have you ever been in that, not that situation, but have you ever been somewhere and you like packed the wrong thing or you were like, I feel like I'm kind of stuck?
Honestly, no.
Nicole's shaking her head like, no,
I am
never.
very particular about how I pack things because most of the times I'm traveling across the world, and you can't mess with that.
Yeah. True.
Now, if I'm going in the United States, like we go off on a retreat, or if I'm going at a conference or speaking at ETS, reading a paper, I know that as long as the basic things are there, I can buy. I can buy Tylenol. I can buy a deodorant. I can buy, but sometimes clothes, when you have to be ready to go in an hour, I'm not going to, so I'm careful. But traveling overseas has kind of trained me to make sure you have what you need,
Yeah.
but you may not be able to get it.
Where was it? I remember us trying to solve this. I think it was when you two were in Egypt, and something happened with the converter where it blew a fuse in the hotel room.
Yes.
And then we had to.
Oh,
we had to
no.
hop
I
on-
remember that.
Yeah.
We had to hop on FaceTime and figure out, like, we can plug the GoPros into the computer. We can plug this into that. Was that Turkey or was that Egypt?
That was Egypt.
That was Egypt. Okay.
We were on the Nile River.
Yes.
Cruising down the Nile River, trying to solve this problem of
No.
that was Turkey. That was
That's
Turkey.
because it ended up it knocked out the
Power.
our room. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Well, it's happened several times. Like it happened in Israel. This is the first time. This is 2015. First time we're about to get on the Temple Mount. I think it was a Mount of Olives. I can't remember. It was right there. I remember going on this bus and we're going around and around trying to get to the place and realize we didn't have the right card.
No.
And I said, "Are you kidding me? This is crazy.
That's
this is crazy.
bad.
I need that."
Yeah.
And then, so we didn't pack the right one. And then I think it was in Egypt where I think we had the wrong charger or something like that. And then in Turkey, we blew the fuse.
Yeah. Wow. It was like, we packed everything right, but Turkey just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
It couldn't handle what we were trying to do.
What you pack matters. I mean, you got to strategize what you're going to bring and
that's right.
how you're going to organize things, and just like that's true on a trip, that's true in a relationship.
Yeah.
That's true in marriage as well. And on today's episode, we are starting something brand new. We are so excited. It is the last day of January, but February is tomorrow.
And February,
less than 24 hours.
that's
And
the
as
month
you
of
know,
love,
it is the
fellas.
month of love.
That's right.
It is the month of love. So we're starting a brand new segment today with Nicole on the show. Welcome to the show, Nicole. We're excited to have you. Brand new segment today called Marriage, Family, and Beyond.
Every single month, we're going to talk about marriage. We're going to talk about family. And we're going to talk about beyond.
I can't say the title in my head, Marriage and Family and Beyond, without doing it in Buzz Lightyear's
Should
voice.
we make that like the
Marriage,
intro
family,
to the
and beyond?
We're going to talk about marriage, family, and beyond.
Yes.
Let's do it.
I think we need to do that.
Let's do it.
Yes, we
Absolutely.
need to
That's
do
how
that.
that's how we open up the segment. Dr. Shah, marriage, family, and beyond is not something that we invented right here sitting around this
Right.
table.
It's at least 7 years old.
Yes.
Yep.
We actually began with these little vignettes, or I guess little videos, where we would sit down and talk about a particular aspect of family or marriage or children, relationships, and just kind of talk about that. And we really had our heart into it. It's like, we're going to do this and it's going to be good. And then life sort of hit us. We got busy and church began to grow, and my dissertation was nearing completion. So we're like, let's just put that on hold. Let's focus on some other things, and we will come back to it. One of the things we really pride ourselves in is that we don't just start things.
That's right.
We want to make sure whatever we start is sustainable. It lines up with our vision.
That's right.
It is going to be long-term. And so we felt like, yes, it is the right thing, but now is not the right time.
You actually took the words right out of my mouth, because I was about to commend you because I see you guys, and I've seen you do this multiple times here at Clearview, where you will have a good idea and things will happen, things will fall off, or we'll get to other ideas, but anything that has merit and that's worth talking about, we always come back to.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it takes a visionary in a marriage and in a relationship to make that kind of thing happen, because you see the value of it, even if it's not paying off right now.
Right. It's not the right time, but the time will be one day. And so you sort of put it on the back burner, but not so far away that you can't reach back or don't see it anymore. It's there. And we feel like now, having the platform we have now with so many people coming to Clearview, right, now the physical location, but also so many listening to us through the radio network, but also on the podcast. We have so many people who come and download thousands of people.
That's right.
And so we feel like it's time now to bring it back.
Yeah. So
And here we are.
marriage, family, and beyond. What's the first thing we're talking about, Nicole?
We're going to be talking about date nights, or in our case, date days.
Ooh,
Right.
fun. What's your date day?
A typical date day for us would be going somewhere for lunch. And that all depends, I guess, on what we're in the mood for.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes we'll go to the mall. Sometimes we'll just go hang out at the bookstore, his favorite place.
Same. Yeah.
And sometimes he will go with me to, like, he might not go in, but he'll go with me and he'll find something else to do. Like when I love to go shopping at Ulta or Sephora or someplace like that. And that's kind of like my bookstore.
Right.
But it's for makeup.
Right.
Yeah.
Self-care.
So when did this concept of setting aside time weekly for a date day or a date night or whatever it looked like for you when you began, when did that become a priority for you?
It really happened at a Weekend to Remember seminar, if I'm not wrong. It was done by Family Life, Dennis and Barbara Rainey. And so we went there. And initially, I was not that keen on going. I was like, man, what are you going to teach me about marriage and family? Well, there are so many things they can teach me, so many things I'm still learning, so many things I have learned. So, but still, we were there and I began to sort of listen to what they were teaching. And then I realized very quickly, wow, I need to learn this. This is important, especially if I'm going to have a strong marriage, especially if my marriage is going to withstand the ups and downs and the uncertainties of life, because we think life is predictable. It's not predictable. People are not predictable. Nothing is predictable other than Jesus Christ and His Word. So one of the things that people said was every week you should take time to date. And at the time, our kids were young. And did we have all of them at the time?
We did, because this is
You had
why
all four?
Yes, this is why I remember, because leaving them with anybody was a little stressful because Thomas, I remember, was still in the crib.
Right.
So
That's
he
right.
was 2 years old or less, and I want to say he was probably just a year old.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this has been 15 years ago. Well, no, 16 years ago,
Yeah.
because he's 17.
That's right.
And it's always funny because when you go to stuff like that, when you go to those conferences, you automatically, I don't know if maybe you don't do this, but I know typically guys do because I do it a lot. You start listing off all the reasons. It's like, that's great advice. Unfortunately, it does not apply to me.
Right.
Because I got small kids.
Here's
right?
why I can't do what
And
you're saying.
I ain't got but 2 of them.
Right.
Like, so I can imagine having 4. You'd be like, okay, yeah, good advice, but can't do that one. So let me go ahead and hear the next one.
Right.
But you actually took it to heart.
We did, and to be honest with you, the first year or so, I guess, was really just 30 minutes, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe. Rebecca was probably 12, 13 years old
That's
at the
right.
time. And
And we didn't live in the best section of town.
Right.
no.
It was not horrible at the time. I mean, in time it became that way. It's kind of sadly, we had wrong elements who were,
Yeah.
moving in some of the rental property, and it was becoming dangerous. But prior to that, it was not as bad. But still, we didn't feel comfortable leaving the kids alone. So we understand couples who don't feel comfortable leaving it even 30 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. So we would put them to bed. She was, like I said, 12, 13 years old, and everybody was asleep. And we would tell Rebecca, okay, we're going to leave. We're going to go.
Here's our cell phone number,
Here's our
but
cell phone number. We're going to be gone 30 minutes. We're going to go get dessert, coffee, and we'll be home. And so by the time we got home, everybody was asleep because we were only gone half an hour.
Yeah.
But it was that time that we could actually sit down and try not to think about the kids and
Right.
actually reconnect for just that half hour. And then once she got a little bit older, where we felt
and all the kids sort of got older.
Yeah,
So
they all
not old, but
older.
I would say maybe the youngest one probably was 4 about that time.
Yeah.
That we felt like, it's time that we can
Yeah.
get away and be gone the whole evening.
Do you feel like that's missing in a lot of Christian marriages or even a lot of secular marriages? That time to reconnect and still date?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And I think it's at the heart of a lot of problems.
Yes. It feels like once the marriage happens or once the ring is on the finger, then dating just goes out the window. Because like we're married now, so What do we have to work on?
Well, you do-
We've already reached past the finish line.
Yeah, and you hear people say that you should date with the intention of marrying, and I wonder if that has any implication, at least in people's minds, if they invent that implication that, all right, so dating is to get to marriage. So once I'm at marriage,
That's a great point.
I don't have to date anymore.
The end.
And or at least I don't have to pursue my spouse.
Yeah.
Because I've won.
But dating your spouse and pursuing your spouse, I feel, are two different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's, I think you still need to pursue them in a way, but.
And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong, that implication. I'm just
Yeah.
pointing out that maybe that it exists.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why, because I even felt like when I got married, I was like, cool. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we can go out and have a good time, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
we don't have to date anymore.
Yeah.
Well, pursuing, I would say, is more of a mindset, and dating is more of something that goes on a calendar.
Yeah.
That you say, this is our time that we go away
Mm-hmm.
and we do this. And we have some intentionality behind it. This is what's going to happen. But then it's also sort of free-flowing, freestyle. We just go and see how it turns out, and just time to get away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has been amazing. And it's, we will leave about a little before lunch, sometimes at lunch, because that's the time Nicole is done and I'm done with basic chores. And then we'll leave about 12:30, go somewhere to eat, and then we'll, like she said, go to the movie or go to a mall or go to a bookstore, just walk around, whatever. And then usually nowadays we're back by like maybe 4:35 max.
That's a good day.
Yeah, so it's we get about 4 or 5 hours. So when we say day, it's not the whole 24-hour day.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about maybe half a day, if that.
Yeah.
But you also have, I've always heard there was you need to go out at least once a week. And then maybe, I've heard this statistic, and I don't know how many people are able to do it, but do the once a week, and then once every 2 or 3 months, then you go away for one night. And then like once every year or 2 years, you do like a weekend or
Right.
something, something really big.
Yeah.
And so periodically,
Yeah, we do that.
We do go away for overnight
That's right.
trips and things, and I still think those are
Yeah.
dates. Not
Yeah.
dates, but I mean it's still a time to spend time together.
It's a planned time
Yes.
to be away. Yeah.
Since adding that to your regular routine as a couple, what have you noticed has either changed or developed? What benefits have you seen from having that set aside time each week?
For me, it's a time to reconnect. It's a time to talk again. It's a time to just put the world behind whatever I need to do, or whatever care I have, or frustration I have, or doubt or fear I have about something that I'm working on, whether it's personal or project or church. It gives me a time to just say, this will still be there 4 hours from now. But right now I'm going to focus on this, and we're just going to talk and laugh. Sometimes we argue. We've done that too. It hasn't been good, but at least it allowed us to deal with something that we felt like we were avoiding, or we were not facing, or it was brewing as a problem. So it was rough and tough. But at the end, not the end of the date, not even the end of the day, sometimes it's the end of the week, it was like, okay, that had to happen, but we're in a better place now. So it helped us.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I feel like, especially when the kids were young, I felt definitely that time that we could reconnect, we could talk about things that were going on, because at that time when the kids were young, I did work part-time, I think.
Yeah.
And so
sometimes you were working full-time too. I mean, it depends on what you were doing. If you were working at a school and it became a long-term sub, you ended up working 40 hours.
It's true. And so it was still a time to reconnect, but it was also a time for me to put aside being a mom.
Yeah.
So that actually led into the question I was about to ask. Like, kids, are they welcome on date days or no kids? Like, just your gut reaction.
I mean, we've had them on our date days because
Very rarely. I mean, I
Very
can
rarely.
count on my fingertips how many times over the past what, 15 years?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe 5 to 7 times.
Yeah.
maybe. And it would be because they
All the older ones were gone.
they were gone
to a
and so-
camp or
yeah.
something like that.
And we didn't want to leave the boys alone for like 5, 6, 7
Yeah.
hours because neither one of them had their driver's license at the time. So you're just like, come on.
You're going with us.
They're sitting in the truck with their little short pants, just kicking their feet.
Yeah.
So I think that's important though, because that was abnormal. That was not the normal
No.
thing. Normally, it was the kids are at home.
Right.
I think that's so important because a lot of times I feel like couples have kids at the center of their relationship.
Yeah.
And everything kind of revolves around the kids.
That's right.
And I'm not saying ignore your kids. I'm not saying, cast them to the side, but there's some problems with
Yeah.
keeping kids at the center of a relationship.
Right.
I will say that all of my children, all of them, from the oldest to the youngest, knew and still know that if Abaddon ever called me or calls me and says, "Hey, you want to go grab some lunch?" I will drop them like a hotcake.
And go.
See ya.
But she loves that lunch.
Yeah, she loves lunch, man. That's some about Christian, especially Christian women. They love lunch, but they knew like mom's gonna choose dad and
Yes.
choose lunch
Yeah.
Yes.
over spending time with us.
Yes.
and it sounds so backwards from what we hear, but that really is the way that God designed it.
It's
Yeah.
actually really true. I never understood when my dad would tell me, and my mom even would say it, that the most secure kids know that mom and dad love each other.
That's right.
And that is one way that your kids will know that you love each other, is that you will put aside that time
Yeah.
that you will say, this is not family time, this is mom and dad time, and we'll see you when we get back.
I think this is especially true with millennials. When kids are the center of the universe at home, they're the center of their own universe in life. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I feel that even. Like I feel like, me and my sister were really, truly, we were the center of our parents' universe. And so that's something that I've had to combat in adulthood, is understanding that the marriage, like if mom and dad aren't a cohesive team, there's no family unit. I just
Right.
exist in this home as a kid.
Yeah.
Well, this kind of leads me to a funny story. We were traveling to Georgia to see Nicole's family.
I'm trying to remember.
You'll remember as
my wheels are turning right now.
So we were all there, all 4 of us, all 4 of the kids, and both of us are there. So all 6 of us are in the van, and we're driving past Gwinnett. And I said something like, "Hey guys, that's where Mom and I used to go for our dates."
We actually stopped there one time.
Right. But that's where we go for our dates. And I remember Nicholas at that point, should I not mention the name?
It's your show.
Go ahead.
He said, "No wonder it takes y'all that long." So in his mind, he didn't connect what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that whenever we were in college, living in Georgia, that was 30 minutes to Gwinnett Mall.
Right.
That we used to go there for our dates.
This happened
He's
in the
thinking
past.
He's thinking you're driving to a whole different state.
every Monday night. No wonder y'all are gone for so long.
That's pretty funny.
We stopped. We just kind of just driving. I'm like, "Oh, wait. Do you think we go here every Monday night? It takes you a long time."
How old was he at the time?
Just a little kid.
Probably less than 12.
That's
way
pretty
less
funny.
than that.
Yeah.
So he was thinking every Monday night when we leave, we go to Gwinnett.
Go all
drive
the
into
way to Georgia.
Here we go.
Georgia for our date
Bro,
night.
what a date.
Yeah, I was like, "No, buddy. That was when we were in college. We used to go there for our dates."
That's
Yeah.
cute.
Oh, okay.
It's funny how little kids like view those relationships and view marriages, and like especially too how it can seem like forever. Even that being mom and dad being gone 30 minutes, but that 30 minutes has a profound impact. It has a strong, especially when it's predictable and it's. I guess a better word is actually reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you do it right, there's communication. And the communication in a marriage is key. I mean, if you don't have communication, then everything else breaks down.
Yeah.
And so if you do it right, I don't want to say it forces you to communicate, because you don't have to, even on a date. But that's what it's for, is to reconnect and I hate to use the word rebuild, but
Well,
It is rebuild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and did you ever find, like, when you started doing them 15 years ago and you didn't have smartphones in your face every couple of minutes, that it was easier?
I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah.
We didn't have the distractions,
Yeah.
because we had a cell phone, but it was
not a
one of those-
smartphone.
It was one of those
Yeah.
Like a
flip
little
phones.
brick, little
Yeah.
flip
It's a
brick.
flip phone.
Yeah, it was there to communicate. It was there for emergencies. But now this is what we're typically doing, is sitting
Yeah.
there like,
And all of the major marriage sites and places will tell you, put your phone away, don't even bring it into the restaurant. They give you all of these different tips so that you can actually concentrate.
And I know that's difficult if you have little kids. You want to be ready with your phone just in case there's an emergency back home. So it's understandable. You can hang on to that, but exercise self-control.
That's right.
Which is, you don't have to check that message again that quickly. You don't have to check social media and quickly do the quick likes and a quick happy birthday. Don't have to. It doesn't have to be done right then. You can tell yourself, hold off until you get home and you sing on the couch, and either you're falling asleep and she's falling asleep, maybe look at it then. You don't have to do that right now. There's
That's right.
nothing
Yeah.
commendable about that.
If there's a couple listening and they recognize that they have not made this a priority, and they are interested in starting, what are some practical steps that they can take to start to build this into their routine?
Well, first of all, if they have small children, you need to find either a babysitter who is willing to do it once a week, or if you don't have access to that, or you don't have the money, because let's face it, babysitters cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe there's a couple, a friend of yours, or maybe it could be like your sister or your brother, and y'all can switch off. Like, okay, we'll watch your kids while you go away on this week, and you watch our kids while we go. And just switch off favors.
Yeah.
That's right.
To be able to do that, that's the first thing, because you got to find reliable childcare.
Safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much.
Reliable and safe childcare, and then after that, then you just kind of need to decide what you two enjoy doing. What are some things, and I would suggest maybe even take some time and write down, each one of you, your top 10 things that you really like to do. That if money were no object, these are the things that I would like to do, and write them out, and maybe switch your list,
Yeah.
and each take turns doing something on that list.
Yeah.
For us, we started out with, or not started out with, just a few years ago, we decided to get more specific on, we're going to go to this place where they have games, or do this and that. And that sort of worked, but it didn't, because it was like, you were tired by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know if I want to go jump on a trampoline tonight. I just don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
So it was sort of, it's okay. So at times they can be a little boring, but overall, for us, they're okay.
Yeah.
They work. And then when we go away for a couple of nights, every few months, that's where we get to do the other things that we
Yeah.
want to do, and it works out wonderfully. But I think it's vital. I think it's important. I wish more couples would do this. And Nicole, she's doing her master's in counseling, focused on marriage and family relationships. And we want to share more of these kind of things with people so they can really enhance their relationship, especially their marriage.
Absolutely. One thing I've learned from just when watching you guys is the consistency of it. To be doing it consistently for 15 years. Like, I'll admit, I'm the world's greatest husband a few weeks at a time. I can plan like 5 or 6 dates, no problem. But invariably, or inevitably, I should say, life will always get in the way, and you tend to stray away from it. So there's these big long gaps
Yeah.
where you're doing nothing. So I really appreciate how consistent you guys are, because it challenges me to be consistent as well.
Yeah, and I think that example that you shared with us of number one, be creative. It doesn't have to be you're going to go off on an excursion for 3 hours. It can be we're going to go into town for 30 minutes and get ice cream and coffee.
Yeah.
But that's a date. And I think that creativity, it frees people up from what their expectations are. But be intentional. Set aside that time and communicate in that time. Let it be a child-free time where you can reconnect and sort of rekindle things as a couple.
That's right.
So important for us. Man, I really enjoyed this segment, Marriage, Family, and Beyond. Nicole, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
We are excited to bring this segment to you guys. Every single month, we're going to be doing one of these episodes, so make sure you tune in for our Marriage, Family, and Beyond episodes. You can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com for more information. If today was helpful for you, write in and let us know, 252-582-5028. Write in and let us know your favorite date ideas. That would be a wonderful thing for us to hear from our listening audience. And while you're on the website, make sure you scroll down and click that donate button so you can become part of our Clearview Today Show family. Also want to say a big thank you to Mighty Muscadine for sponsoring this episode of the Clearview Today Show. Head on over to their website, mightymuscadine.com, and use the promo code TODAY. That's TODAY when you check out. It's going to get you a discount, and a portion of those proceeds come right back here to the Clearview Today Show. John, very special episodes coming up the rest of this week.
Very, very special.
Do you want to give them a little...
Give them a little secret sauce?
Give a little secret sauce.
Sprinkle of it? What's going on
A little
here
razzle
is
dazzle.
February. Oh, nice, dude. Very nice. Razzle Dazzle is incoming right now because February 1st is tomorrow. We're starting off Black History Month with a very special guest who made an incredible discovery right here in our own backyard in Henderson, North Carolina. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you check out tomorrow's episode right here on Clearview Today.
Very excited to share that with you guys. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow on Clearview Today.